not only do the Wild lose in overtime, but there's kind of some questions. I mean, I certainly have some, and I'm going to ask you because you pay attention, obviously, the most. But like with the John Merrill, the whole defensive pairing, and I saw you had conversations with some, some people on Twitter yesterday.
Twitterites.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, whatever. Fans, other fans just like us,
Right now.
talking about defensive pairings and how Buium is was obviously the one that was sitting last night. Has had his own fair share of mistakes throughout the series.
Mm-hmm.
To me, last night it looked like it was way more obvious than I had seen it throughout the whole series. So, give me your take on the defensive pairings and all that.
Yeah, I think that you're right for sure. I think that it was the worst night last night, but the most frustrating thing to me is just the like how and not necessarily the how, but the who. Like you, if Boyum's in there and making mistakes, you chalk it up to rookie. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have mistakes. You're gonna have screw ups. But on the other side, you're gonna have great plays that other defensemen, the John Merrills of the world, the Bogosians of the world, are not going to be able to make. Like, for example, you look at their first goal, which came on a shorty. The only reason why, not only reason, but the main reason why that goal was scored was because there wasn't a defenseman playing the point on the power play. It was Matt Boldy because Zeev Buium wasn't in the game. So you just end up having all of these different factors that end up hurting you, whether it's because of those defensemen specifically or because of Boyum. But then when they score that shorthanded goal, who is there 13 seconds later to tie the game up? Kirill Kaprizov, because Kirill Kaprizov is a phenom. He's not attached to the goal that was given up necessarily. I don't think he turned the puck over. Maybe he did, but he was there. If, let's say, in a world where Boyum is playing the point and he gives up that goal, not Boldy, coming back down on the other end, it could be Boyum with a slap shot or an offensive move, and he makes that goal to tie up the game after he gave that play up. Like, when you're talking John Merrill and Bogosian making the mistakes that they did, they're not coming back to save the game offensively. There's nothing that they're going to do that's going to make you go, oh, that's why we're dealing with those mistakes in the first place, because he can do that on offense. He can make that play on defense. You're not going
Right.
to see that from John Merrill and Bogosian. Like, so if they're going to make all those mistakes anyways, like you said, it was more obvious yesterday than it was when Boyum was on the ice in the first 4 games. Then why are we having them out there? And then the best part is Boyum he didn't trust to play in overtime. But then some way somehow all of the fourth line and the fourth line on offense and the third line on defense are both in the game in overtime to give up that final goal to Vegas last night. Like, at what point do we look in the mirror if you're John Hynes and Billy Guerin and go, maybe we are reading this wrong? Because we made these moves specifically so that we could trust these guys, and then we trusted them. Like, once they come in, not only do we trust them, but we have fourth line, third line on the ice together. Everybody's making mistakes all over the place. So why are we so careful with these rookies and willing to pull them out or be like, oh, one high sticking penalty, you're done? But then when the veterans get in, even though they have their own issues, and we all know that, we just are like, yep, here you go. Like, go do it up. Go win the game for us or lose it, which then they ended up losing it. To me, and it's not just me, like, people who know hockey way better than I do, like Michael Russo is wondering, what the fuck is Marco Rossi still doing on the fourth line? Like, what are we doing? Every single time he's on the ice. Last night, I mean, I know that he was on the ice when they scored that final goal, but when you look at the stats, Marco Rossi was the only center last night for the Wild that won 50% of his faceoffs. He went
And
1-6 and lost 6.
the final goal came from turning over the puck, not from our forwards being on the ice. Like I'm not going to put that on those guys.
Well, for sure, but you just look at everybody who is on the ice in general, like why in
Yeah,
the
no,
most
I
important
understand. Yeah.
moment do you have both the third line on defense and the fourth line on offense on the ice? How do you allow that to happen when
Yeah.
Vegas had their top guys on the ice? Like you just those are mistakes that you just can't make, and if you want to blame the first losses on Buium, on not being having enough trust in your young guys, and then you flip them and you put in all of your older guys and then trust them too much and make coaching mistakes in the process, and then you're and I don't know if it was reviewable or not, but you're reviewing the play that probably was not right from like the initial get up when they challenged the one goal for goalie interference, and it wasn't goalie interference. So then you go on the power play too. But then nobody I see with my non like hockey guy eyes, I see that something happened in the crease with Eriksson Ek that it looked like somebody laid on the puck, which is illegal. Like nobody is on the bench yelling at refs. Like even Eriksson Ek knew what happened, but they just skate on by and just act like it never happened. I just Bill Guerin brought in John Hynes because he thought that he was like, you know, the whatever Phil Jackson of the NHL, and I haven't really seen that in the series, not even a little bit. I've seen reactive moves, and then doubting moves that certain moves that you make, like when you decide to play the young guys like Boyum, and then you doubt your own decision so much that you can't play them in overtime, and then
Yeah.
trusting the wrong guys. So like, I don't know. I think that we'll put it to 7 games, but like they've got to get their shit figured out. Like you look at the Vikings, like all of the Vikings are bought in, like the entire team on JJ McCarthy. Like where are the
Yeah.
Wild
I
at
mean,
on Zeev Boyum?
I
Like
think
where
it's a
are
little
the
bit
Wild
different.
at? No, I don't, no, it's not. Like where like do the teammates know that Marco Rossi is a top 6 center? Like do they believe Zeev Boyum is a top 4 defenseman, or
I
that
know.
he
The
should at
reason
least
why
be
I'm saying
playing?
it's different is because Zeev Boyum came from college to straight to his first NHL game in the playoffs. And so that's probably more of what the coaching staff is looking at. Like maybe the reason
Then
why
why
he's
is he
making these
here?
mistakes. Well, I
So
mean, they know he's talented enough, but maybe he was making these mistakes because they thought he would look better. And then he came out here and he didn't look as good as they thought he would.
but then they put in guys that looked even worse. So
I agree with that. I think it was a bad decision in the long haul. I just think that it's not quite the same as that.
but I just think that like why are the coaches so I don't know like what we want to do? Like
Yeah, no,
why
I
is there
hear you.
not a more concrete plan? Like the only concrete plan they seem to have and that they're sticking by is that we're not playing Marco Rossi on anything higher than the fourth line.
Hmm.
Like that is the only thing where it's just like non-negotiable, and that is the one consistent move that everybody's questioning, like why do you hate Marco Rossi so much? So I'm just not sold on not necessarily the players. Like I think the players are playing hard and for the most part playing well. I think they're outplaying Vegas in this series, but it's those moments where like there seems to be we don't know what our plan is in crunch time. We don't know who we want on the ice in crunch time, and if our top 6 guys, top 6 skater or offensive or forwards, and then our top 4 defensemen are not available, then we really don't we don't know what to do. Like we might throw out John Merrill. We might throw out Bogosian. We might keep Jake Middleton on the ice for 15 minutes in one period. We honestly don't know what the best option is, and that's where I'm just like, how do you not know? Like, how do you not know that at this point?
Yeah,
That's what frustrates me.
yeah, no, I certainly agree with that. And I mean, then we can go. Let's talk about Gus Nyquist and the offsides that he had. I mean, every hockey game you watch, every zone entry that you watch that's close, the offensive player drags their skate, is aware of where they're at on the ice, is doing everything they can. They'll lay down in the fucking ice if they
Yep.
need to make sure that they're on sides. And last night, it looked like Gus Nyquist didn't really give a fuck if he was offsides or not.
Again, it's just another like veteran who is on the ice supposedly, and Bill Guerin and John Hynes have given all of this rope and leash to, and said this player is worth it, and this player in those moments is not going to make those mistakes that are going to kill us, and then he made the mistake that killed you. So it comes down to the same thing. Why do we trust Gus Nyquist over Rossi? And I know they play different positions, but like it doesn't make sense to me that just because they've been there, done that, they don't have the same skills they had when they were there doing that. Mm-hmm. So they're different players now, but we're still like willing to give them this trust that we're not willing to give the younger guys. And to me, that makes no sense because the younger guys can get better. Like, Gus Nyquist is not going to make the mistake he made last night, and then I'm not saying he's not going to learn from it, because obviously anybody would learn from that, but he isn't going to take that then and apply it to the rest of his career. He's not going to make little mistakes and go, wow, I've never seen that before, so I did this. I'll never do that again. Nyquist has seen everything before. Like, the mistakes that he's making is either because of airheadedness or it doesn't have what he used to have. And you can't just get it back. The clock isn't going to turn back time and just all of a sudden Gus Nyquist has the speed, the shooting ability, the strength up against the boards that he had when he was not even in his prime, but 3-4 years ago. Like, that guy isn't coming back. If Rossi makes mistakes, if Buium makes mistakes, like, they're only going to get better with those learning experiences. And instead, we got one up in the press box and one sitting at the end of the bench. And both of them are way more talented than the guys that are playing ahead of them, all of which are making the same mistakes, if not worse mistakes than they would make. So, like, when do you just decide, look, hockey players are going to make mistakes, and there's nobody on our team, any of these veterans, that are so good that we shouldn't be playing this obvious talent that's
that brings up, like, Liam Ogren, too. Like, we called him up, but then sort of, like, I would venture to play him in front of fucking Gus Nyquist, but they won't. That was Bill's big acquisition at the deadline, and so...
well, that's another thing too. So, like, are they just being stubborn with some of these things?
Right,
like they said that they went and got Trennan, they went and got not just Nyquist, but what's the other guy's name? The other sitting on the fourth line, or maybe the third line that we just got in a trade earlier this year, starts with a B. But like it's the same thing with him. Are we just playing these guys because we made trades for them?
Oh, Brazo,
yeah, Brazo or whatever his name is. Like, are we keeping him in?
I mean, honestly, he's looked better to me than Nyquist,
and he probably has too. And that's one reason why I know that they picked him up. From what Russo has said, is because he hasn't necessarily been the best regular season player, but he played like one playoff series with his last team and was one of their best players during that playoff series.
Yeah. And so he's looked at least.
Guerin saw that big body, like playoff style. That's fine, but and I get the thinking behind Rossi. Like, not only is he younger, but he's small. And that is why I think at the end of the day, Guerin doesn't really like him, is because he is so small and maybe plays more of a finesse game. But, I mean, for a finesse player, like, Rossi is like he's blocking shots. I mean, he doesn't seem like somebody who's any more afraid to get in on scrums than other guys. I don't know. Next year will be different because we'll have a lot more money. And so you'll hope that if there are youngsters down on the roster, obviously you hope Buium after a year, whatever, would be a mainstay in the lineup regardless. But if there are younger guys who are talented who aren't playing, you would hope that the guys playing ahead of them are better just because of how much better of a place the Wild will be from a cap standpoint next season. But that is not this season. Like, this season, your third and fourth liners are not very good. So you are better off playing your younger guys and hoping that their talent makes up for the mistakes that you know that they're going to make. Because at the end of the day, the guys ahead of them are going to make mistakes. They're slow. They're not who they used to be. And it just, again, I would rather have my younger guys gaining experience.
Right. Because then at least if they fuck up, you're gonna learn from for the next 10 years. Where it's not like
And they
Nyquist will
could
learn
come
some.
back with the talent to
Yeah,
do
one
something special right after.
exactly, exactly. I mean, Nyquist is gonna learn from it, and then he'll be able to really
And then
learn from it
afterwards,
well when he's on his couch for the next 3 years when he's
right,
fucking
right.
retired.
And then after he learns from it, like when he jumps back on the ice in game 6, guess what? He's still going to be slow. He's still going to be old. So like yes, he can learn from that mistake. He probably won't, fuck that up again in these playoffs or maybe for the last year or two of his career, however long he hangs on. Fine. But he's still the same person. He isn't going to grow as a hockey player in general. He is not mixing his growing talent with growing experience to butt into a new beautiful hockey player. He is a dying, like, old rose that was one time pretty and now is on its last leg, and you keep on watering it just because you want to remember what it once was. Like, that's him. That's like Foligno. That's what Zuccarello would be if it weren't for Kirill Kaprizov. Like, even Hartman, Hartman has played good in these series, but Hartman is a middle second on a bad team, third, fourth line centerman on a good team. Like, that's what Ryan Hartman is. Next year, you hope that'll change, but this year, that's not the case. So get your guys in there and play your most talented players and hope that their talent can lead you to victories. Like, you can play all this great hockey all you want, but one mistake can end up screwing you. Like, if you play your more talented players, they could get you a couple more goals. Now that one mistake doesn't hurt you as much. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree.